all having a good start to the week. Just coming off the game Saturday night, and obviously been able to come in, watch the tape, see some of the things that showed up that definitely created more challenging situations throughout the course of that contest. Is one of those things that I know I mentioned it after the game, but defensively really got put in some tough spots, and we it's one of the first games that we truly were dominated in the field position battle. 3 turnovers contributed to 21 points. The defense did a good job on one of the sudden changes. With being able to get a stop and hold, force Pitt to miss the field goal. So it really didn't hurt us there. But then, the next possession with the short field, giving up the touchdown, those 28 points, either off turnovers or a short field. And that's something that, a lot of factors go into it. Things that we need to definitely improve on. Like I mentioned, throughout the in the post game. We really kind of got overwhelmed with some of the pressure there by Pitt's forcing unit. We knew going into the game it wasn't that they really did much to change who they are, what they do. I mean, it's a team that came in. I think we were giving up 80 yards a game rushing. They were leading the country in quarterback sacks. So they'd had success with that throughout the year. I was pleased with what we were able to do in the first half. I know even the second quarter, we had some negative drives. Some of the negative plays that were some of the penalties and things that we did definitely hurt us in those situations. But I felt very confident going there at halftime. We were able to score 17 points. We were able to move the ball. At times we just knew that the explosive play was going to be something that was critical in that contest, and it was something that Jordan had the long touchdown run, but we obviously we got to be able to continue to manufacture some of those explosives and to put ourselves in a position to win a game like that. I did think I saw some strides in the right direction there defensively. I thought even being shorthanded in that regards, both our starting safeties that from the beginning of the year were out. Obviously Marvin and him not being available, definitely tested the depth, but I thought those guys responded and definitely made impactful plays. We were able to create some TFLs. We had the quarterback sack. We got to continue to create and get pressure on the quarterback, and then we've got to create our own explosive plays defensively. Being able to force turnovers, and so that's going to be a big point of emphasis as it's been throughout the season. Going to continue to develop in that regards. I know there's been a lot of questions when it comes to our personnel and guys being back, and I'll give personnel updates probably on Wednesday, just as we get a better sense to get through the week in regards to availability and any changes that we have from a personnel standpoint. But I'd look forward to that on Wednesday as we get rolling. But with that, I'll open up questions.
First question will be Chris Meade.
Coach, you mentioned the bad field position for the defense. When you review the film, do you regret 4th down decisions, or is it one of these things where you're steadfast in the decision because that's what the metric told you to do?
Yeah, I mean, those are things that you play you play in the moment. Obviously we know the data that we have. Obviously the thought process of what we think is needed. Throughout the course of the game and maximizing possessions and you put our guys in the best position to go be successful. And I usually regret every play that doesn't work, and whether it's 1st down or 4th down. But you look back at that, and I was really pleased that one of those decisions didn't ultimately cost us. But it's one of those things that you got to have confidence and faith in those decisions that you make. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for us. We made an earlier decision. On a 4th and 1 that we were backed up, I think of in our own 32 that we were able to execute, and it extended the drive, and obviously it was positive for us. But it's those things that you got to put your faith in your preparation, and unfortunately it just didn't work out for us in those moments.
When you talked about those explosive plays, you guys took some shots downfield, especially in the first half, and some on first down, and it looked like maybe had a chance to hit him. Is that, when you look back over it, how much of that was Jordan being off the target, or how much of that was the receivers not making the plays?
I mean, a little bit combination on both. We talked about after the game. There's some moments where there was some miscommunication, but you really just not execution of what we saw. And I think rushing things at times with pressure, and then you had some missed opportunities downfield. At a explosive opportunity in the passing game that we weren't able to capitalize on. Those are things that we have to hit, especially against a team like that. And you look back through the course of the season, when you're playing a good defense, one that was as dominant as they've been, stopping the run, and you obviously create pressure when you get those one-on-one opportunities. You got to finish them. And you look through the course of the season, and teams that had success were able to do that. Teams that didn't, were not. And we had the long touchdown run with Jordan. But we've got to continue to develop the consistency in the passing game, and obviously with what we're doing when we get those opportunities.
Hi, Mike. I believe it's been 3 of the last 4 games that Jordan has exited with some sort of ailment or injury. I guess when that happens, one, how much does that hinder the game plan when you lose your starting quarterback? I would imagine significantly. And then 2, when those bad injury luck does keep happening, I guess what challenges does that create in building an offense around someone if they're not consistently available?
It's definitely challenging, and obviously the quarterback position is a unique one. Just with all the things that go into it, we're gonna create a game plan to fit the guy that's taking the snaps, and then obviously we have plans and adjustments if he's not the guy doing it. But it does create issues, and obviously going into that game, when you're playing a forcing unit like Pitt had, and really some of the success they've had with that front 7, it was a big loss anytime you lose a guy like Jordan, because his ability to naturally extend plays, his ability to sometimes make things right that don't necessarily look like it's going to be right, but he's a dynamic player in that regards. And so it's unfortunate that that he's not been able to finish some of those contests, and we're continuing to work. And he does a great job in his preparation. He does a great job from the time the game ends to prepare himself for the next one. And so we're going to continue to do all that we can to help him along in that process.
Coach, in a season like this, how do you balance, installing your system, but also catering to a team that you largely didn't recruit? Like, how do you balance on-field results and program building and just proof of concept while you're trying to work towards something?
Well, for us, it's not really about the scheme. We have to be versatile as coaches in what we do. We got to, and that's something I'm taking a great deal of pride of throughout my coaching career. I've coached many different quarterbacks, many different styles. We've had success everywhere that we've been in that regards. And right now it's about instilling the process of what it takes to be successful, to be consistent. And we're playing with a very young team offensively, and there's we've got to consistently find ways to be able to move the ball to sustain that success. Obviously I talk about the explosive play. That's something that's critical. We need to find ways to be able to have those plays throughout the course of the game. But even in the moments where we're taking a shot, or things that we're trying to push the ball down the field, or create a special in the run game, that if it's not there, don't make a bad play worse, and make sure that, hey, sometimes an incomplete pass is the best thing that you can have. But on the flip side of it, you look at what Jordan's brought to this offense, since he's kind of taken over, and he's created a lot of those explosive plays, with his legs, with being able to sustain, keep himself alive and give us opportunities to push the ball down the field. But we just need to do that on a consistent basis, and it's every position that plays a part in that, from the offensive line, the receivers, running backs, tight ends, and obviously quarterback. But that's something that we need to that needs to continue to emerge, and we're going to work hard to do that.
Coach, obviously Jordan Travis injury affected your passing game, but could you talk about just the effect that it also had on your running game? Because it seemed like you kind of struggled in that area, and especially in the second half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and we had some missed opportunities, and we knew going into it, Pitt, they're a well-coached team. I mean, it's not like they came and did something to us that they had done to everybody else, when it comes to the running game. I was pleased that we were able to establish that in some regards and to have some explosive plays. But they made a commitment to pressure the run game. There were some opportunities that we needed to take advantage of on the perimeter that we weren't able to do so with. And some of that was pressure based. Some of that was just missed opportunities. There were a couple of times that we tried to take things on the perimeter where the possibility of giving the ball in the run game, also was there. And so it's just, those are the learning experiences for young quarterbacks. It's the learning experiences for, all aspects of our offense. And those are things that, we're continuing to grow with. And, I've got a lot of confidence in what it will be and what it's going to continue to become throughout the course of the season.
Next will be Kurt Weiler from the Democrat.
With going back and watching the film, I guess, you've seen some of Chuba and what he did in a more limited area against Louisville? I guess, what did you see against Pitt? Obviously, it was tough for him, kind of constantly under pressure, but what do you see? And I mean, what could that be? If I know you're not kind of wanting to talk about that stuff today, if he had to play this weekend, what could that do for him?
I mean, I thought Chuba, absolutely took the field and competed every rep. And that was something that, he had a couple tremendous effort plays, just being able to extend things with his legs. He had a third down where, he ultimately, sold out in all regards to go get a first down, pop right up. I thought his leadership and just, the charisma which he carries himself with on the field was something that was impressive to me. He made some mistakes. The pick six was something that we can't have. It was something that he saw the right thing. Just the execution of what to what to do and where to go is something that he's gonna continue to improve on. And that's one thing with young quarterbacks is sometimes they just can't get their eyes right. I think Chuba's eyes are going in the right places. He understands the steps of it, but it's just the execution of it and the repetition that's necessary. It's a different story. A lot of freshman quarterbacks either come in early or they you have fall camp. I mean, Chuba's really had a unique situation because he missed all of that. He started in the summer in a different off-season summer program than what you would normally see. And then, obviously with the injury, he missed out from the first scrimmage up until the last couple of weeks. And so, he's really learning on the run with different looks and at full speed, I guess learning curve, but I think he does well. I really like his demeanor. I like his mindset, his attitude. The same thing with Tate. I mean, you look at another freshman. He had started a game early in the season. Had some bumps along the road. And how that outing went. But just his response and his work. I think those are two really good young quarterbacks that we have in this system, and excited about what their future is going to be.
How disappointed were you with the special teams? There was a couple of pivotal plays, the one letting that punt bounce, flip field position, and then letting them squirt out for that 10-yard return, I guess, to your guys' 40. They played really well for much of the season. How disappointed were you?
Yeah, we told the guys yesterday. I mean, it was evident. We knew. I mean, it was the worst performance we've had on special teams this year, and it's. As much time as we pour into that, we've got to perform better. And we had we keep track of all those things. The hidden yardage that shows up in games that most people don't talk about. Obviously, field position is a combination of all aspects. But we had some missed opportunities where our fundamentals just didn't show up. Our communication didn't show up. Having everybody on the same page of those are things that are focus moments, but also just things that we've got to carry over in the moment, and that's where playing a lot of youth and a lot of guys that are excited to make an impact, but also on the flip side of it, just trusting those things that, our special teams have been great for us this year up until this last game, and, just continuing to build upon that, trusting the things that we've done and you continue to grow in those regards. But yeah, it was disappointing. And we talked about it as an entire team. And I'll tell you, just short story to it, but like the very last punt, we're down 41-17. We have guys that are bought into what we're doing, especially as Asante Samuel goes to Coach JP, and we played the game with three corners. And when you're playing with three corners, that's tough. It's a challenge on bodies. And Asante there for the last punt, he inserted himself. He said, Coach, he told Coach JP, we've got to do a better job, because we've been great in covering punts this year. And he took ownership in that and covered that last punt, put great speed on the field. And things like that, they don't show up to anybody in the stands but it shows up to me, and it shows up to the staff. And the buy-in of what the expectation is and what it needs to be, being player led as well as the constant push from our coaches. And so we're going to improve, we're going to get better at that. But seeing that type of leadership is something I'm proud of.
The decision to not talk about personnel changes or injury updates until Wednesday, is that so you have some more data to look at, or do you just not want to talk about that stuff while your team is still practicing and vying for reps?
I would say that it's something I want to talk about on Wednesday, but probably a little bit of both.
It seemed like that game really just like the momentum flipped and you guys couldn't get it back. How big of a concern is that still, that it seems like the team's struggling with that, kind of responding when things start going poorly?
It's a challenge. And when you have when you're the mix of youth and the mix of the veterans that have kind of lived through a lot of those experiences, the only way you get through it is you got to work through it. And just building in that constant belief of not getting caught up in the emotion of it, just focusing on the play and focusing on. That's one of the things that you watch through through that game. And there were things that we were doing in protections, there were things we were doing in coverage, there were things we were doing in special teams that early in the contest, if you watch the fundamental application, things we're doing at quarterback, fundamental application of what we need to do for a certain play. It was beautiful there early. And then through a negative play or something bad happening or momentum or emotions, the exact same, play or opportunity presents itself later and you don't see the same application. And that's one of those things that you have to be confident in what you've trained yourself to do. You've got to be confident in the moment, and you got to be confident in your own your own skill set and the belief that you can go make the play. You just don't have to do anything extraordinary in the moment. Just go focus on that one play, that one opportunity, and you're going to put yourself in the best position to achieve success. And that's youth. That's also, that shows up with people at all levels. And I think that, just, continuing to develop in that confidence and the growth is something that's important for this team.
When Chuba did go into the game, I think he dropped back 22 times. Obviously you're still trying to kind of win a game. Was there any thought of just letting him kind of run a more simplistic sort of offense, or are you trying to send a message to the team to continue to compete, even if it's going to, maybe not, the margin of victory might even get even further out of hand? Well,
It's some of the passes, were not necessarily all drop back passes. Some of those things were runs that were potentially checked to pass plays based off of looks and some things taken on the perimeter. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of learning experiences that we're gonna grow from in that regards. But on the flip side, they kind of forced your hand a little bit. Just with different pressure packages. We could sit there and hand off the ball to get guys that are blitzing free and open gaps, and that's not going to look good either. So, we had to kind of have a balance with that. I thought Pitt had a good plan, but that's part of what has made them good throughout this year is what the pressure they've been able to put on people. And, we didn't do a good enough job of handling that, but, we are going to compete. And, I've got a lot of faith in the guys that I get to coach, and, for us to go through those experiences. It's challenging, at the end of the day, we're going to try to do everything we can to put ourselves in the best position to win games. But we've just got to do a better job as a coaching staff, the players, everybody involved in being able to go out there and execute that throughout some of the adversity that showed up.
All right, last one, we'll go back to Ira.
I'm only asking really because you didn't mention it. But how was the emotions Sunday? How did guys respond? In the past, you said they've been positive.
Yeah, I mean, they came and they worked. I mean, it wasn't, there was, to say that there were happy feelings, around the facility, there weren't. I mean, I wasn't very happy when I woke up there Sunday, but, we get an opportunity to come to work and, obviously we talk a lot about, controlling the things that you can control. Obviously, we went out, we didn't, necessarily play to the best of our ability. We got beat, for all the reasons that have been mentioned, and you got to give credit to Pitt for how they played and what they did. But for us, it's about our growth. It's about how we can impact each other and then be accountable to each other. And so, it's I've got the same responsibility to these players that they have to each other, and it's to get better, it's to improve. And I go back and I watch that game. I go through every situation. I assess the things that I thought we did well, and then areas that I've got to improve, and that this team has to improve. And so we all take that ownership of what we put on film, of how we performed, and then you go to work to get better. And that's what I did think our guys. They brought the right mindset. They brought the right approach. I don't really want them to be acting like nothing happened, because we're competitors. We want to win every dang game. Every time we step on that field, we want to play to the best of our ability. But when that doesn't happen, we're not going to miss out on a lesson, or to be able to grow from an experience. And so that's what I live for. And I thought the guys did that, and we're moving forward here this week.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.